Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of my Wild exhibition. Thank you again for the great responses so far, and I'm so glad you're enjoying the show. Just a reminder that the exhibition is still live until the end of November, so make sure you go to freddiepask.com to see what is still available. Now, it has been one of the most popular paintings from the exhibition, and equally one of my best-selling prints. I am, of course, talking about fishing.
Love it. I love it. Looks great.
The background behind this style is an interesting one, and I'll need to take you back to my undergraduate days of studying art history at the University of Leeds. Trying to put this into context, I went online to try and find some photos of my time at Leeds, and I have to say Facebook was not generous. One of the artists we studied was Rachel Whiteread. If you don't know her work, she is a Turner Prize-winning artist who notoriously cast the inside of a house in concrete. After removing the walls, she was left with a physical representation of the space within. This theme has been prominent throughout her work, and she has cast the negative space of many objects, such as cupboards and even hot water bottles. I love the idea of the viewer's eye working to translate her sculptures, visualizing what was once there, whether it be a room, table, or even house. In turn, I feel there is more pleasure to be gained by engaging with an art piece rather than simply observing it. Artwork that induces beautiful emotions and memories rather than simply being a decoration. To bolster this point, the Irish journalist Stephen Gwynn had a great maxim, which was, "Walk and let your reader run." What he meant by this was a good writer should, in a sentence or few sentences containing the bare bones of the subject, be able to set in motion the reader's imagination. The key is doing this in such a way that the reader conjures up their own images as to what is being represented. Okay, this is getting a little heavy.
What are you trying to say, lad?
What I'm trying to say is I really don't like creating highly detailed or photographic-like paintings. Painters who do this are very talented craftspeople, but in my eyes, I want more than a direct representation. What I strive for is to touch a canvas as little as possible and almost trick the eye into thinking there is more detail than there actually is. I want the viewer's imagination to be ignited by the work. This less is more concept really came together for me when I was invited to paint in San Luca, Andalusia. Every year they have racing on the beach, and I wanted a way to capture the sensation of watching this spectacle in the evening haze, silhouetted by Mediterranean Sea. My solution? To paint everything but the horses. On an abstract background, I painted around the silhouettes of horses and riders and managed to capture the movement and excitement of the scene rather than a description. I played around with this silhouette idea further, even going as far to use gold leaf. The result of this gold is this amazing sunset luster which resonates with the long shadows and figures within. So when it came to developing the style for Wild, I admit I was a little nervous of how I was going to move away from horses to wildlife. It was on the beaches of Devon, overlooking swirling gulls against a deep blue sky, that I thought this style may work with a flock of birds. The first sketch was rough round the edges, but definitely showed promise. I played around with loads of different techniques, including spray painting little plastic pigeons to capture a more blurry silhouette. I thought I'd better give you an example of what I mean here. So, little plastic pigeon. And then we align them out. This is my thinking anyway. Okay, like that, brilliant. And then, ooh, nice. That didn't work, sadly. Maybe it will one day. But through trial and error, I eventually settled on the final piece, which is fishing. Here, the dark red abstract background is in contrast to the light oil paint used to silhouette the gulls. This creates this incredible sense of movement, which is enhanced by the reflection in the water below. The joy of this piece is that not one of the many gulls pictured actually looks like a gull. It is only when they come together as a swirling mass that the scene unfolds. I feel the painting plays around with movement and colour to create a rather engaging scene of endless stories and questions. This original has sold, but I am very pleased to say there are still some prints available which you can buy from my website. I'm also quite excited to announce that next year I'll be producing a further series in a similar style. I'm now on a mission to find swirling birds and feel there may be some more adventures to come. If you've seen Wild Episode 2, you will know that this can take quite a while. So I think this is just a bit of a waiting game. I'm in a bit of cover, and hopefully they'll come past. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to posting my next episode next week.